Hello, everyone, and welcome to our session. A big thank you to the...
Beatrice, we haven't started yet, just so you know. Just look for the participants to populate. All right, Beatrice, the room is open. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our session. It's great to see so many of you online this morning. A big thank you to the conference organizers. I've had an amazing experience so far, and I hope everything has gone smoothly for all of you. This session focuses on how we collectively can support the assessment and recognition of refugees' academic credentials. It's a very important topic to discuss, especially as the immigrant serving sector has been working very hard these past few months to support the resettlement of thousands of Afghan refugees. Many more refugees from all around the world come to Canada with education and skills that often are not fully utilized. A few words about me. I'm the Associate Director for Program Delivery and Integration with World Education Services. And in this capacity, I oversee the Gateway Program. I've worked in the immigrant serving field for over 12 years now, leading the development and delivery of employment and bridging programs, as well as multi-stakeholder mentoring and capacity building initiatives. I came to WES a little over 3 years ago to develop and launch the Gateway Program. And before WES, I worked with TRIAC, the Information and Communications Technology Council, and JBS Toronto. I will start today's session with an introduction to credential evaluation, what it is, when clients may need it, and what type of reports are best suited to support clients reach their goals. This will set the stage for the conversation about refugees' credential recognition and will increase your knowledge of what credential evaluation entails. And then I'll talk about the need for policies and tools to ensure successful refugee settlement and integration, especially in the current context when the refugee numbers have reached record levels. The WES Gateway Program is one of these tools, and I'll share more about how the program works, how we collaborate with referral partners, and how the program can support clients. And I'll also share some tools and resources developed by WES to help clients looking for a credential evaluation, and also to help practitioners like you who are working with clients who need evaluation. First, a few things about WES. We are a social enterprise dedicated to helping internationally educated individuals achieve their goals in Canada and the United States. Since 1974, WES has provided credential evaluations to nearly 3 million individuals from more than 200 countries. In addition to providing credential evaluation, we support the integration of immigrants into the workforce through the work of our Global Talent Bridge department. And we also provide philanthropic funding to immigrant serving organizations through the Meriam Asefa Fund. Our mission is to help individuals thrive in new places by helping society recognize the value of their education and experience so that everyone is able to put their education, experience, and skills to work anywhere in the world. So now let's delve into what credential evaluation is. A credential evaluation is a report that compares an individual's academic accomplishments to the educational standards in Canada. It provides immigrants and international students the Canadian equivalency of their education. It also helps institutions like colleges and universities, employers, licensing boards, or immigration authorities understand the academic background of those with education outside of Canada. For clients, this means validating their prior education to help them plan their careers in Canada. The report is a tool they can use to make key decisions, whether they want to license in their profession, further their education, or find commensurate employment. Now, the most challenging part of getting a credential evaluation is gathering the required official academic documents. And I'll come back to explain what official means in this context. We have different requirements for each country, and they are explained in detail on the WES website. But it's our very strict document requirements that have helped us build our reputation. So many institutions don't accept other reports than those issued by WES. So the effort the clients make to get their documents pays off once they have the report in hand and it's accepted by a high number of institutions. Who needs a credential evaluation? Basically, everyone with education outside of Canada will need to go through an assessment process to confirm and validate their studies in order to further their career or education. For clients seeking employment, applying to a post-secondary institution, becoming licensed in their profession, proof of their education will be either required, thus mandatory, or just helpful in the process. And for those immigrating through one of the economic immigration streams, credential evaluation is part of the application to immigrate. Now, it's important to know that individual institutions asking for a credential evaluation will have specific requirements of what they want to see. So we always recommend that clients check with the institutions to make sure they're taking the right steps and are ordering the right type of evaluation from the right provider. For instance, colleges and universities have different requirements. What's accepted by one may not be accepted by another, and many times different programs within the same school may have different requirements. And that's why clients are encouraged to connect with the school or a regulator that needs their evaluation to get clarity on what their process is. It's also important to note that WES evaluates academic study only. We do not evaluate vocational programs or education in the trades. As for the types of reports we issue, there are 3 of them. The document-by-document evaluation provides the Canadian equivalency of the credential. And to give you an example, this report will mention that the client's education is the equivalent of, say, a 4-year program in business administration based on Canadian standards. This type of report is typically sufficient for first-year college or university admission and for employment purposes. The course-by-course evaluation also provides a Canadian equivalency of the credential, along with the courses taken, the number of credits, the grades earned, and the Canadian GPA. It's usually used for transfer credits, so clients can skip some of the courses in the program they're taking. It's also used for graduate admission, where there are specific prerequisites and clients can demonstrate that they've completed those courses. As well, licensing boards require a course-by-course evaluation to ensure clients have completed the educational requirements for licensure. And finally, the educational credential assessment is the specific evaluation that we do for those immigrating to Canada. It's very similar to document by document. but it has specific remarks required by IRCC. And many of your clients may already have an ECA assessment if they came through one of the economic migration streams, but they may need to upgrade that assessment if they want to apply for further education or licensure. And this is a summary of what our standard credential evaluation entails. First of all, it's based on official documents. And this is evaluation terminology, and I know it can be confusing, so let me explain it. Official documents are issued by the school in a sealed envelope, or they are transmitted to WES directly through secure digital platforms. Official documents are not the same as originals, although many clients may think so. Originals are usually issued at graduation and printed on embossed paper, but official documents are issued at the student's request for a very specific purpose and have a different format. Requirements of what documents are needed and in what format are country specific in our standard evaluation process. And because the evaluation is based on official documents, the reports include an authenticity statement. And as I mentioned before, these very rigorous requirements make our reports broadly recognized by higher education institutions and regulatory bodies across the country. However, refugees and other displaced individuals are likely to encounter serious difficulties meeting the requirements for standard evaluation of credentials. For instance, they may not be able to take all their documents with them when they are forced to flee. Obtaining official documents may be impossible due to the educational system's incapacity to manage the archives and respond to graduates' requests. So for these individuals, the lack of proof of academic achievement is a challenge that must be overcome as they seek to build new lives in a new country. Without proof, finding commensurate employment or obtaining the education they need to build meaningful career is often impossible. And as we all know, many get stuck in jobs that do not fully utilize their education, skills, and experience. The current global context is very concerning. According to UNHCR, there are over 26 million refugees around the world, and 2/3 of them come from just 5 countries. A very small fraction, just over 34,000, were resettled last year. Many of these refugees are highly educated and have years of experience, but the public perception is often the graphic pictures we see in the media. They only perpetuate the stereotypes. And a credential evaluation can make a huge difference for these people because they can show they do have an education and can contribute to the economy and society in a meaningful way. In fact, credential recognition is mentioned by many refugees as a major challenge in the integration process. The current crisis has prompted examination of access of refugees to education and employment in host countries, and more institutions and governments are taking steps to address the issue. These measures were prompted in part by the Lisbon Recognition Convention, which commits countries to creating pathways for refugees' credential assessment, even when documents are missing. The convention was ratified by Canada in 2018, and it is legally binding. The ratification obligates our country to develop methods of assessing refugees' qualifications, even in the absence of full official documentation. And the more recent convention, initiated by UNESCO, but not yet ratified, also states the principle that everyone has the right to have their credentials assessed, including refugees with incomplete documentation. Now, the WES Gateway Program is one of the steps taken to address this challenge. Since large-scale resettlement of Syrian refugees began in late 2015, Canada has taken strides to improve recognition of credentials held by refugees. As you remember, almost 50,000 of Syrian refugees came to Canada in a short period of time. And we at WES realized that many of these refugees were highly educated, but they didn't have official documents to prove it. We were faced with a challenge because until then, WES would accept only official documents. So we asked ourselves how we could help those who didn't have access to official documents. To respond to this challenge, we developed a methodology to conduct evaluation based on the documents people had in their possession. And this methodology leveraged our extensive expertise in the field of credential evaluation. And we partnered with community agencies to pilot this methodology on a group of refugees that needed the service. We delivered the pilot program for 1 year. And through it, we provided over 300 Syrian refugees with a credential evaluation report, only based on documents they had in their possession. After the pilot in 2018, we realized that we needed to do more. And we made a decision to expand and scale up the program. We conducted a very thorough research into a group of countries in crisis. We looked at criteria such as the situation in the country, the number of refugees coming from those countries, their level of education, but also we looked at WES's capacity to evaluate credentials from those countries. And that's how the Gateway Program came to be. With a goal of supporting clients who cannot obtain official documents because of war, conflict, or natural disaster in their country of education. In other words, the program creates a path for these individuals to get a credential evaluation and move on with their lives. The program is available now to individuals with education from 7 countries who meet the program requirements. And you can see the countries on the screen. They are Afghanistan, Eritrea, Iraq, Syria, Turkey, Ukraine, and Venezuela. Eligibility for the program comes down to 3 core components: education, documents available, and WES's capacity to evaluate. In order to be eligible for the program, clients must be educated in one of the 7 countries and have at least a high school diploma. We don't evaluate incomplete high school education, but we do evaluate incomplete post-secondary education. Clients also need to have at least 1 piece of credible evidence of their education, and that's a diploma or the transcript. Also, they need to have utilized all resources and efforts to obtain official documents, because we still recommend our standard evaluation whenever possible, as it is more broadly recognized. And our recommendation is for everyone to try and get official documents from their school, of course, if it's safe to do so. And lastly, we need to have sufficient and reliable information to be able to evaluate the client's qualifications. A very important note here, the Gateway Program is accessible to clients who already live in Canada and cannot be used for immigration purposes. There are some differences between our standard credential evaluations and those issued through the Gateway Program. And this chart summarizes these differences. For our standard evaluations, the application form is found on the WES website and can be accessed by anyone. We require official documents, and as I mentioned earlier, the report itself will have an authenticity statement, to say that it was prepared based on official documents. Now, for the Gateway program, the application is not accessible to clients. It's only accessible to referral partners that have signed on with WES. The document required are unofficial and would already be in the client's possession at the time of the application. And so instead of an authenticity statement, there is a remark on Gateway reports to say that the evaluation is based on photocopies. So in order to access the program, clients have to connect with a referral partner. Since we started in 2018, we built a network of committed partners. They have access to a portal. The process is fully online and very user-friendly. We train staff, our partners assigned to the program. Then we give them access to the portal and they complete the application form on the client's behalf. Once the application is submitted, the partners may continue to support the clients and guide them through the next step, but clients do have access to their WES account and they can manage their file afterwards independently. It's only the application stage that's not accessible to them. Currently, we have 34 partners across the country from Vancouver to Halifax and Newfoundland. We are present in all provinces except New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island, but most of our partners are in Ontario and especially in the GTA. It's a combination of settlement and employment agencies, but we have some regulators and post-secondary institutions that act as referral partners as well. The partnership with WES benefits agencies in multiple ways. We've heard from our partners that it strengthens program delivery by building on services our partners already offer, and by providing a new way to recruit and retain clients. It also enables staff to gain a broader understanding of credential evaluation and utilize these skills on advising clients with different needs. It's also an opportunity to provide programmatic feedback and to join the WES stakeholder group, a group that we consult regularly and engage in various innovative projects. As well, the Gateway partners receive a number of vouchers from WES to cover the cost of the evaluation for clients who have difficulty paying and are not eligible to access funding through other sources. Since late summer, we have been monitoring the situation in Afghanistan very closely, like all of you, I assume. And we had to review the way we evaluate credentials from Afghanistan. Because of the conditions in the country, WES is currently unable to verify academic documents issued by institutions in Afghanistan. And as a result, we are no longer able to issue standard reports, and all clients are advised to access the Gateway program. In the program, we can evaluate high school education as well as post-secondary education from 31 public and private universities. We have some limitations in place. We evaluate education completed before August 15th this year, 2021, and also study completed between 1996 and 2001 cannot be evaluated at this time. We are ready to serve clients from Afghanistan. We're working with various partners on monitoring the arrivals and sharing information about the program. Of course, we recognize that refugees have much more urgent needs to address when they get here, and we will be there to serve them when they are ready. we're already seeing a significant increase in the number of clients from Afghanistan. In fact, in October alone, so in less than 3 weeks, we've had more applications than we had last year. And now a few stats on the program impact. Over 1,400 clients have received evaluation reports since we launched the program in late 2018. And the reports have been sent to over 80 institutions. And the vast majority of our clients report that the evaluation has helped them feel more confident in their ability to achieve their goals. And these are some of the universities, colleges, and regulators that have received and accepted Gateway reports. You can see very prestigious universities on the list: University of Toronto, McGill, York, McMaster, Carleton, Waterloo, many community colleges as well. And a significant number of regulators have accepted our reports from applicants seeking licensure. The engineering regulators in Alberta, Quebec, and Saskatchewan, CPA Ontario, Ontario College of Teachers, and also a number of regulators in healthcare. And some data on the applicant profile. Our clients are new to the country. Almost 3/4 came to Canada within the last 3 years. Most worked full-time before having to leave, 85%. Over 90% of the clients come from 4 of the 7 countries we serve: Syria, Turkey, Iraq, and Venezuela. Almost 60% are male, and about 70% are between 30 and 50 years old. So they come to Canada with education and years of experience. Finally, almost 3/4 were unemployed or were working in a survival job when they applied for an evaluation, which speaks volumes about the importance of the work we do. And these are just 5 of the many success stories we've had. They are published on our website, and I invite you to read them. It's very inspiring to see how the Credential Evaluation Report opened doors for these individuals and what they've been able to achieve. And before we wrap up, I wanted to share some tools and resources you can find on the WES website. The tools are free to use and may be useful for clients and for you when you're supporting the clients. You'll find the required documents for each country. You'll also find the degree equivalency tool and the GPA calculator. All these tools can inform the decisions that clients need to make and what they may need to do to reach their goals. As well, I have uploaded a flyer on the conference portal. So you should be able to download it. It's a flyer for clients, and it is in English, French, Arabic, and Spanish. We're now working on a version in Dari and hope to have it available soon. And with that, I'm going to open it up to the audience now for questions. Please remember to unmute yourself if you have questions.
Hi, Beatrice.
Hi.
Thank you for your valuable presentation and for your flyers, which you attached for uploading, and all the stats which you gave us today. My question to you is, if a refugee has come a couple of years back and they are from one of the 5-7 countries you mentioned, are they still able to use any of the vouchers which you mentioned that are available for people who are not able to pay the fees? If they have come a couple of years back, let us say 7 years or 6 years, or they have become Canadian already, can they still use the vouchers or not?
The decision on using a voucher to cover the cost of the evaluation sits with our referral partners. They're working with the client, they know the client, they know their needs, and they have a lot more expertise than we do in assessing the client's needs.
Okay, so that was part one. And part two is, you mentioned that many regulatory bodies have accepted the WES Credential Assessment Reports. Is all these regulatory bodies who have accepted, are the names of the regulatory bodies are available on the WES website, or would you like to share a couple of them? Besides engineering, you mentioned one.
We don't have the list on the website, and the reason why we don't publicize a list of higher education institutions and regulators that have accepted gateway reports, which again are based on non-official documents, and that is mentioned on the report, is because decisions are often taken on a case-by-case basis. So schools and the regulators trust our expertise. They know that when they receive a report that has WES's stamp on it, we've gone through a very rigorous process to assess that individual's credentials. But it depends on a lot of factors, and we can't guarantee that gateway reports will be as broadly recognized as our standard reports. And that's why we continue to say, you know, if clients can contact the school and get official documents, that is a better option for them in the long term. We've actually heard from clients from Syria who received an evaluation in our pilot program 4 or 5 years ago, who are now coming back with official documents, but because the situation is a little calmer and safer in Syria, some schools have started to work kind of normally again, and they are able to obtain official documents.
Okay, because I know many of the Syrian clients which we have, only 2 of them had out of, I think, hundreds. Hundreds of them came to Thunder Bay, but only 2 of them had some kind of school certificate or some kind of experience letter from their home country of Syria. Mm-hmm. So they could not use the WES, I know that. So they were working the minimum wages job or construction job partly because of referral system.
If they have at least the diploma or the transcript, we may be able to issue a report for them.
Okay, I'll let my employment connected person know to contact.
Yeah, we have the list of referral partners on the website. And so clients can connect with one of our referral partners.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm looking at the chat. Could we have access to the slides? Yes, I will upload the presentation on the portal as well. Do you assist people with ECA reports for clients having military education? In the Gateway program, we don't do evaluation for immigration, and that's because IRCC only accepts ECA reports, which are based on official documents. Who's asked this question? Please connect with me. Let's take this conversation offline, and because I need to understand more the client's background and situation. Could you please post the link of the website in the chat? Yes. Let me post it here. Basically, if you go to wes.org/ca, which is a Canadian WES website, under Credential Evaluation, you will see the Gateway program. So it's wes.org/ca/gateway. Okay, any other questions? where are refugee clients most often hearing about the Gateway program? What are the professions most represented among refugees? Very good question. We do ask the clients in a survey how they heard about the program. Most of them say that they hear about it from friends and family. So word of mouth is a big factor here. Many of them are already taking programs at our referral partner agencies. Also, some of them are applying for licensure or are applying for higher education, and then the school sends them to us to get the credential evaluation. And what are the professions most represented among refugees? We have a high number of engineers, so people who were engineers in their home countries, but also in business management and accounting, actually. Yeah. How can we access the link to the partner referral agencies? So on the program website, so I posted the link in the chat. Scroll down and you will see the full list of referral partners. Can you please repeat the information on the slide showing differences between WES regular evaluation and Gateway evaluation? So the first difference is the access to the application form. In the standard process, the link to the application form is on the WES website. On the homepage, it says apply now or sign up or something like this. People can click on the link, create a WES account, fill out the application form, that's it. In Gateway, the link is not accessible to clients. The link sits on a password-protected portal, and only referral partners have access to that portal. So clients have to see a referral partner who then logs into the portal and fills out the application form on their behalf. So this is one difference. Second difference is the documents required for evaluation. In the standard process, they have to be official. In Gateway, we work with whatever people have in their possession. And in fact, in the Gateway program, people can scan their documents and upload them online directly in their account. So we don't need them to send us originals if they have them. We don't need them to print the photocopies and mail them to us. It's all electronic, it's all online. So the documents is a second difference. And the third difference is a remark on the Gateway report that says that the evaluation is based on photocopies. Whereas on standard reports, there's an authenticity statement that says that evaluation is based on documents that are official documents, authenticated by the school, and so on. Can you please again share the differences between original documents and official documents and its acceptance by WES? Original documents is what we all receive when we finish college and university. It's that beautiful diploma. In some cases, we would get a transcript as well, but it may say unofficial, or it's just a printed, the transcript, it's just printed on the university letterhead. So those are original documents. From a credential evaluation provider standpoint, those originals are not official. Official documents are issued by the school when a student contacts them and asks for a set of official documents to be issued with a specific purpose. Can be for immigration, can be if they want to study in another country. And then the school issues these official documents. It's usually a degree certificate, so proof of graduation, and also the transcript. And they are in a sealed envelope with a stamp on the back flap of the envelope, maybe a signature, and so on. Now, recently, of course, after the pandemic hit, more and more institutions have adopted digital ways to issue official documents, and we have partnerships with many schools around the world. So now the student, the graduate, the client ask the school to send their official documents to WES electronically through those secure platforms. And I hope that answers your question. Immigrants can have their evaluation through WES before they arrive in Canada. Yes, if they are applying through one of the economic immigration streams, express entry, they are required to have a credential evaluation as part of the application to immigrate. So it's mandatory. So they do have to apply for a credential evaluation from their countries before coming to Canada. Are agencies able to still become referral partners, or is this process already done? No, it's not done. We want to make the program available to more clients in future. We know there's a huge need out there. There's a lot more clients who don't even know that they have this option. So I really appreciate you spreading the word. Connect with me if you have the capacity to become a referral partner. I'm always happy to welcome new partners in the network. Okay, the program available for people who are not permanent residents in Canada. We don't track clients' immigration status, but based on what we've heard from our partners, most of our clients are refugees or asylum seekers. And they are perfectly eligible from our standpoint. The immigration status is not an eligibility requirement for us. In fact, we've had Canadian citizens apply for a credential evaluation. This program is mainly about lack of access to documents. It's not about immigration status. Okay. Can you please write your email address here? Yes, I will. Absolutely. Again, I'm happy to connect with you if you have questions, if you would like to partner, if you need more outreach materials to spread the word in your community. I'm happy to support you. Okay. Any other questions? Don't see any. Okay. If you have been in Canada for 10 years or more, did not work in your profession, acquired in your home country, and did not do credential assessment, do you lose your credits? In a way, can you still, or does it worth to do credential assessment? We've had clients like this in the program actually, and that's the exact scenario we've seen. People who have been here for quite some time, they didn't need a credential evaluation when they came here. It was not part of the application to immigrate until a few years ago, if you remember. They've been working maybe in their field, but more entry-level junior positions, and now they would like to get a certification, for example, or go back to school and upgrade their skills. So the fact that they've been here for 10 years or longer, they may be Canadian citizens by now, does not mean that they have access to official documents. And we've had people from Iraq and Syria in this situation, especially Syria. When they came here, Syria was a safe, peaceful country. Everything worked okay there. Schools were responsive. People were able to get official documents from the school. But now that's not longer the case. So again, the immigration status of the individual does not prevent them from accessing the program. How does an organization partner with WES to become a referral organization that's not yet worked with WES? I will post my email here. Let's connect offline and talk about a potential partnership. Okay, so somebody is saying, Nima is saying that they're able to find the partners on the WES website, and let me type my email here. Okay, there we go. Okay, any other questions?
Yes, I have a question. So I just want to verify. So you're saying the official documents can be emailed as well? Like original documents can't, but can official documents be emailed to you if they're sent?
Not emailed, not emailed.
No.
So
Just
schools have access to secure digital platforms.
yes.
So think of it like there's a platform online. The school has an account on that platform, and WES has an account on that platform as well. So
Okay.
the school uploads official documents on that platform, and then WES signs in and downloads the documents. But
Okay.
again, it's a secure platform. It's built specifically for this purpose. It's not just an email.
So they must come directly from the school, the
Yes.
official documents to you. Okay. My second question is, if a client puts an application in, starts their application, sends you the original documents, they're having issues getting the official documents, how long is their application valid for before you say, okay, we can't do anything with this?
Clients will receive notifications in their account. When we receive the documents, if they don't meet our standards, they will receive a notification to say, hey, we've received the documents, we've reviewed them, but they don't meet our standards. For a standard evaluation, you need to submit official documents. So
Okay.
they will know what's happening.
Okay, so if I did have a client that I had submitted in quite a few years back, but I'm not sure what happened with them afterwards, but they had paid their fee and handed in their originals. They couldn't get their official documents. Now that fee that they've already paid, do they get that fee back if they can't get their official documents?
They have to request a cancellation. We don't cancel file without the request from the client because we don't know. We were thinking, they may be still trying to get official documents. So they have to just contact customer service and request for the file to be canceled, and then they will be refunded.
They will be refunded.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Just to piggyback on that, I myself submitted my documents, I think 2003 or 2004. That's a long time ago, right? Still haven't been evaluated. I kept calling them and I wasn't sure what they really wanted. And the schools back home, it's different process over there, right? I mean, it's hard to sometimes get a hold of them, especially if I don't understand what the requirement for WES is. So my case is still pending since then.
I can't comment on specific files, but
I know that.
My recommendation is to, one, check the document requirements for your country of education on the WES website under tools and resources, I think, on the main WES website. And you will see very detailed instructions on what documents you need. But also check the school website because many schools have transitioned to electronic documents. So they may, be able to issue documents electronically now.
Yes, now because now I've listened to I've been a part of this session and things have changed a lot. Maybe it will happen finally, right? So yeah, that's a good idea to check the website. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi, good morning. I have a question. There is a list in the website, a list of organizations that are recognized. What happens if the institution from where you have your certificate or diploma is not in this list?
List of institutions that are recognized?
Yes, there is a tool. I visited the website, I don't know, maybe a year ago, and there is a list of institutions. It is a free resource on the website where you can go and see the institutions. I guess it's from WES. So you can go and see the institutions that are recognized, but I never saw.
Institutions that recognize WES reports or institutions that are recognized or accredited in the country of education?
Yes, I guess that list is about the recognized institutions in the country.
Yes. So as you know, some institutions, higher education institutions, have to go through an accreditation process, and that's true everywhere in the world. Some institutions are accredited, others are not. We sometimes receive documents for evaluation from people who have graduated from non-accredited institutions. We let them know because they have a choice to continue the evaluation, get a report that will mention that they have education from a non-accredited institution, or cancel the file. Some clients decide to go ahead. Some decide to cancel the file. The problem with the report further down the road can be that, if they're applying for higher education or for licensure, their education may not be recognized because it is from a non-accredited institution. But at the end of the day, it's a client's decision.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. I don't see any more questions in the chat. Does anyone have more questions? Okay, not seeing any hand raised. Okay, somebody is typing here. They have a question. Okay, tremendous help. Happy to help. Okay, just can you briefly share a success story without disclosing their identity? Well, we have so many success stories. Maybe the first ambassador of our program was a lovely woman who was actually a client in our Syrian refugee pilot program. She has an incredible story. So she was a lawyer in Syria. She was on the very first plane of refugees that landed at Pearson, and she was greeted by the Prime Minister. She had a 1-year-old when she came here in the middle of the winter. She applied to have her education assessed through our standard process. Of course, she wasn't able to get a report. And then a few months later, when we launched the pilot, she came back, she obtained a report, and she was admitted into Osgood Law School at York. That's one of the most prestigious law schools in the country. So she graduated with a Master's of Law degree, and now she's in the process of writing her bar exams and becoming a licensed lawyer in Ontario.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
That's very interesting story, success story, but my background is law as well. I'm a lawyer as well. So, and actually for lawyers, we have the regulatory bodies here in Canada, for example, NCA. So I sent all my transcript and everything to NCA for assessing or accrediting me. So how comes that she didn't send it to NCA and send it to WES? Because lawyers, they have, also NCA is in Canada responsible for that. Could you please explain that?
I guess her primary goal when she applied for evaluation was to apply to school and do the master's program. And that's why she came to WES first.
So I think maybe it's a good idea to tell people here, because I've been working with WES for many of my clients, so 20 years plus. So maybe Sol or Sony, what was the person who applied for NCA, maybe you can expand why she did not, because I think she was focusing on the employment part, and whereas this girl from Syria who came as a lawyer, she was applying for education part, right? So there are two different documentation WES does, one for employment and one for education, further education, right? That makes a big difference too. And the fee is different for each.
Well, as I said, the document by document report that only looks at the credential itself is usually sufficient for employment. For education or licensure, usually course by course is required. So hence the price difference and the report itself is different. The application to licensure is complex. Many regulators don't accept evaluations done by other evaluation providers. They do their own evaluation. And Professional Engineers of Ontario is one of them. The law regulator is another one. The doctors and nurses, I don't even want to go there. So although WES reports are broadly recognized by numerous schools and regulators in the province and in the country, there are some that will not accept an evaluation done by another provider. So you will have to meet their requirements to get your education assessed and start the licensing process.
Yeah, so each individual regulatory body is different needs for each regulation. So I think that's what she must have done for that. CAA. Similarly, when I came as a teacher, I had to apply for my own teaching, which is Ontario College of Teachers. I had to follow what they wanted documents for that. So WS did not help me for that point of view, what I needed that time, 26 years back.
Yes, yeah. But now many schools and some regulators as well are recognizing the fact that they have to create policies to evaluate the education of people who cannot get official documents. There's a huge need in the sector. And it's actually encouraging to see that a lot of our higher education institutions, partners, have started to create policies on prior learning assessment and how to evaluate the education of people who are coming from war zones and so on. So, and we're happy to share our knowledge in the methodology of assessing those credentials. Okay. I have a client who's an international teacher, did her teaching license through Ontario College of Teachers, but she wants to go back to school. Still, she has to do, again, her credential to get the admission in colleges or universities. She just has to connect with the college or university she's interested to apply to, see what their requirements are, and take it from there. If she's done an assessment for the teaching license with the Ontario College of Teachers, maybe the school will accept that assessment as well. So it really depends on what the school needs.
Hello. Hi, Beatrice.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for this session. A lot of helpful and useful information. I have a question. For people, like let's say people who are immigrating to Canada, and a part of immigration process, they need to do this credentials evaluation, ECA report, right? So, and then when they're here in country, do they need to now, for their employment reason or maybe studying, if that report can help them, or if there is a shortcut because they already completed that report, or they need to start the new process of credentials evaluations? Thank you.
Usually for employment, that report should be enough. They can mention on the resume the Canadian equivalency of their credentials. If they want to go to school or apply for licensure, they will have to get a course-by-course evaluation, because the ECA is a document by document. It will not list the courses they've taken in the program, or the GPA, or the number of credits and so on. So again, it's all based on the client's goals and the requirements of the institution that needs that report.
Thank you.
Okay, somebody's asking if there's a chance to invite the speaker, myself, to present information on WES services. Yes, please connect with me after the session. We actually have colleagues who do presentations in the community to practitioners or to clients. So let's take this offline. Okay. Sounds like bridging programs may also be a good route seeking education versus employment. We've had clients who needed the evaluation for a bridging program. Okay. Again, I'm not seeing other questions in the chat. Please unmute yourself if you have any questions.
I'm wondering, excuse me, sorry. I'm wondering if the transcript for this presentation will be available afterwards. I was trying to save it and I clicked the wrong button. I left the room. When I come back in, it doesn't load the previous transcript. So I'm wondering if that will be loaded somewhere.
I am seeing a notification on my screen to say that transcription is on. That's all I know. Okay. So you may want to connect with the conference organizers if you can't access the transcript after the session.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, any more questions?
Beatrice, just stepping in here. That person who's asking for the transcript, I can save it and possibly get it to you somehow.
Wonderful, thank you. I'm going to put my email in the chat box. That would be very helpful, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Okay. Somebody else is asking for the transcript as well. Just to clarify again, WES will only assess credentials if he has a bachelor or doctorate or a 4-year course. You will assess it if it's only 1 or 2 year course. The conversation around credential evaluation usually focuses on higher education, but we do evaluate high school as well. And that's something to keep in mind if you're working with youth clients, immigrant or refugee youth who may have completed high school in their country of origin. So that's one thing. For higher education, we evaluate completed education, so full program, undergrad, master, PhD, but also incomplete education. Many clients start their higher education in their countries, they don't get to complete it, they have to move, they come here and they need an evaluation for the study completed so they can apply and finish their degree here. Depending on what program it is, we may or may not be able to evaluate if it's not strictly academic. So this is the only limitation we have in place. We only evaluate academic education. So education that's done in an accredited institution. For example, we've had people submit professional development certificates. That's not something we evaluate. Okay. Okay. Last call for questions. Not seeing anything in the chat. Okay, so I guess we don't have questions anymore. Again, feel free to connect with me if you have further questions or if you would like to partner become a partner in the Gateway program. Thanks again, everyone. I wish you an amazing day 2 and the conference, and email me if you'd like to chat more, or you can use the chat feature on the conference portal actually. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.